it was a different process for each person. And we knew that as a nonprofit, and I'm sure a lot of MOPS groups are thinking the same thing, is we don't have a lot of money. Like we're just not like burning it because we got it kind of thing. And so we had to find as an organization how to do this cost effectively. And so we started reaching out to furniture stores. We reached out to grocery stores. We reached out to all of these different places, hoping, hey, we're making a video. Can you like donate it for us? And we'll promote you in some kind of way. And funny enough, none of it worked. Like you would have thought that would have been easy marketing, but actually none of that worked. And so, and also,
so you kept going, tried something else.
Right. I'm glad it didn't work because like our moms can't do that. Our moms can't be like, hey, we're going to film it and promote. So even though it forced us to like have to figure out how to spend money, like in a cost-effective way, it actually will in turn, hopefully help our leaders do the same. So for the furniture, we contacted a bunch of furniture stores and most of them don't have marketing departments. So they did not care that we needed furniture. And so we actually found, if you're in the Denver area, now you will be able to ask, you can find probably this if you're in any kind of bigger city. It might be a little trickier if you're in a smaller town. But we found a place called Publishing Resource Center. Publishing, it's something like that. It's PRC. Resource Clearinghouse. That's what it was. Publishing Resource Clearinghouse. So that's in Denver, and they have a voucher program. And so they were also one of the few people that would let us film. So that was nice because a lot of people wouldn't let us film in their business. But what they did is they basically have a whole section on the other side of their warehouse where if you pay $75, you can get 4 vouchers. In those 4 vouchers, each kind of piece of furniture is worth a certain amount of vouchers, 1 voucher, 2 vouchers. So the couch that we got was 2 vouchers. But the chair that we got was 1 voucher. And so you kind of have to figure out the awesome chest that I think in the video you see Mandy kind of wiping down. That was just 1 voucher. And so we got all of the big pieces for $75 and 4 vouchers.
That's great.
And then we went to like Target and Walmart and I think Ross's and basically like a lamp and a throw pillow, and we might have spent another like $50 or something like that. So for like under $150, we furnished a living room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like you can't, and so it really does take initiative. So Michelle, she works here. She's kind of like our producer. She basically, we say, hey, we need a parade for MomCon. Can you find a band? And she's like, cool. And she does it. She's a magician. She figures out.
Everybody needs a Michelle that can just come up with a parade. Yeah.
Right. So, So I see in the comments right here. So yeah, Providers Resource Clearinghouse. See, Michelle, she knows things I don't. And so, I mean, it took a while. Like she took several days just for that. And so I just, our leaders, don't be discouraged with the no's. Just keep going. There's always a way. There's always a person to find. And we didn't know about that place, except one furniture place that we called recommended that we look into this. So even though we got a no, it turned into a yes from at another place, and we would not have known about that. So leaders, like, keep pressing on. I mean, the fact that we were able to drastically change the way that they can live on a daily basis for that kind of money it's unreal. So that was the furniture bit. Then the clothes bit, we went through a couple different options, but honestly, it was all of the options ended up being used clothing. And so we didn't feel comfortable with that. You know, the furniture looked great. It was awesome. But like, we wanted to make, I mean, these are clothes. And so this was probably the higher dollar item for us because we wanted to make sure that they got it new. And we couldn't find anyone who would let us film or donate anything. So that's why all that footage is actually cell phone footage, is because we knew that we couldn't bring our nicer camera in and them allow it. So, you break some rules with the cell phone and you get it done.
Oh, okay.
For filming purposes. But
and I think that goes to show that you can do that kind of thing and kind of share it in a way that doesn't require a great videographer like you are, or the big, equipment. If you want to, you just take some pictures with your cell phone and, show people what you did, even though that's not really the point, is to show it. I mean, but it encourages others to see what you've done. So, so you can use just your cell phone if you want to.
Yeah.
Follow the rules.
And that it was harder for us because we had that implication. Like, right. I think we might have actually been able to get more things or different things if we didn't require us to film on location. So that did limit us. And so hopefully our moms won't have that trouble, because you won't be trying to get a camera in there. And so, so for the clothes, that was kind of our biggest budget item, because we wanted to make sure it was new. But the great part about this is, like, this idea of MOPS is super relative to the idea of church, like the church body and how it works. So, that's why we tithe and we give, because we know that one person could not, like, budget this whole, like, ministry. It's just not possible. And so the same way of moms gathering around each other is that it's not like everyone has to spend hundreds of dollars to help this one woman with clothes. It's like, no, maybe you have enough where everyone just pitches in $10, and now you've just given a whole family who's had surgeries for years, who has holes in clothes, who's got shoes that barely the sole is even on them. Now all of a sudden it's all brand new, and it costed one person $10, just a lot of people. And that's the beauty of the church, and that's the beauty of just the MOPS group. And that's why, even though we had to spend a little bit more money because we couldn't find somebody that would let us film in there, as far as a group, you guys would actually have a much easier time doing it than we would.
Right.
So that's the clothes piece. Then we had the groceries. So this is really interesting, because there's also local grocery stores that help. But what we found out, or what Michelle found out and then told us, because Michelle finds out everything, is that even big chains, so we have King Soopers here, which is owned by Kroger's, and we have Walmart and all that. Most of those big chains have some kind of, I'm going to say charity program, but that's not really what it is. Basically, if you can prove that you are a 501c3 nonprofit, you bring that paper to them, they will then hand you a $25 gift card. Like, you might have to fill out a little bit of paperwork, and they will hand you a $25 gift card. Then you can go to the other grocery store that you didn't go to before with your 501c3. So first you hit up Walmart, then you hit Kroger's, and you get another $25. So depending on how the competition's going in your neighborhood, you can actually build up these 25s. And so the way that generally works is that you most of our groups meet in churches. Use that as leverage. Like, those churches have 501c3s, so you can walk in with that piece of paper and they will give you that $25 gift card. Now the trick is that on the 501c3 has an address. So you have to go to the closest institution of that to the address.
Oh, okay. So like the closest Walmart to your church.
Exactly. So you can't go to any Walmart, then another Walmart, and then another Walmart. They're going to be like, no, there's actually Walmart closer to the address that you gave us. You need to go to that one.
Well, and for leaders, if they don't understand the 501c3, your church, most churches are a 501c3. So if you talk to the finance person at your church, you can use their numbers. You wouldn't use MOPS's number because you're a ministry of your church. So you go to your church, tell them what you're looking for, and your finance person will completely understand what you need, and we'll be able to give that to you.
Yep.
Can we stop for a second? Because you just posted this thing from Kate. Where she was talking about, she said that her group of 60 raised $1,000 in one day for a mom whose son needed a liver transplant. So Now they did a penny war, which is just having people bring all their pennies for a certain period of time, and you can war with them by which group brings the most by weight. You can weigh the pennies, and then you have to find a bank that'll cash all that out. But most banks will do that. Sometimes they charge a little bit of a fee, but that's great. And I think the fact that it was for a liver transplant, I mean, that's definitely going to draw people in. I think that's one of the great things about the MOPS community is that by our very nature, we create these places where people come and can sit across the table and talk to each other about what's going on in their lives. So I think it's usually pretty easy to find somebody who needs something, and you just have to listen, and then when you hear of the need, you just have to be willing to persevere and do sometimes just a little bitty tiny bit of work, sometimes a little bit more. But either way, I think finding someone to bless in this way is the easy part of the whole thing, because they're right across your table.
Yep, absolutely. And so another thing I want to tell you guys about is, as far as the food thing, is if you have, the only reason why I know this is because my sister, she actually works at Walmart headquarters. And so we actually contacted Walmart and they almost were going to do it with us, except that we didn't have enough time. So we were a little last minute on it. And so they needed like 2 more months than when we were like doing that. So, but they did tell us about this. So I just put it up on the screen. It's giving.walmart.com. And they have grants that you can apply for. And they can range anywhere from $250 to $5,000. And so the great thing about Walmart is not just food. And so obviously Walmart's not like sponsoring us, or they didn't ask me to do this or anything, but like this is a real thing that if you have a really big need that seems like a group of women or like could not possibly pull off financially, like if you have enough heads up and enough time, then that might be an option for you guys. So that's another way to help hopefully get some money. And it's a grant, so there's a decent bit of paperwork that goes involved with it. But I think in 2017, Walmart gave $1 billion away through this. So they're doing it. Like the money's going somewhere. And so if you think that you have a need and you might be able to do that, I encourage our leaders to look into that as a possible option.